The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face. Bass in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Latina Diaspora. The purpose of this channel is to discuss issues pertaining to Latinos living in the United States. Now, of course, I have my main channel, which is Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, where I discuss everyday issues and where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube and Facebook. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who've already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined, I really appreciate your love and continued support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, as well as those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so already, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So as you can see by the thumbnail, tonight's discussion is dealing with haters. Now, that's something that all content creators, no matter big or small, they have to deal with. So I'm going to give you a description of who they are, why they're haters, and then how to deal with them. Now, before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Now, for the benefit that those that did not watch my last live on my main channel, which is Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, it was an impromptu live to give you my thoughts regarding certain false allegations that were directed towards me, mainly that I block people because they don't embrace my views when it comes to Christianity. Also that I have purchased subs, and also I try to dictate to others how they run their channels. First of all, let me just discuss why people get blocked. I don't block people because they don't share my views regarding Christianity. I block people because their conduct. Okay, if they're going to be disrespectful towards me, if they're not going to abide by the rules and guidelines that I've set, then they're going to get blocked. This was due to the fact that a recent live that I participated, there was an individual that obviously wanted to be a provocateur, wanted to cause issues, and I just refused to engage. So after trying, my best to try to deal with this individual with patience and understanding, I decided to drop down because I did not like the direction where the live was going. As a result, there were certain lives that were regarding my hypocrisy, regarding my Christian values, and that I block people. However, those lives were quickly privated. I wonder why. Maybe some people were afraid that people will see this content and then see the lies that are being generated. I don't know. I don't care. So then, on another live, discussed regarding false accusation claims that I block people because I don't accept my Christian views. Anyone that has followed me within 4 years know that all are welcome. And I have had people who've been on my platform many times who are not Christian. And whenever I do discuss Christian values or Christian views, I always start with the premise. I am not trying to force anyone to embrace Christianity, nor accept my version of Christianity. All I ask is people just hear what I have to say, and then you make your own assessment. And then there was another individual. Obviously, he was trying to provoke an argument with me, which I refused. And on the accusation was that I bought subs. So I said, fine, produce your evidence. Basically, his evidence consisted of deception and lies, because if I was to purchase subs, then you should be able to, to produce the receipts regarding the purchase. Because there is a very easy way. There is a platform where you can go in, you can enter the content creator's name and determine whether or not subs were purchased. No. It was just conjecture, deflection. So I decided to give my response. It wasn't directed towards them per se. It was just basically in general. So I made a decision that there's certain platforms where I will not partake. I will not enter that sector again due to the level of toxicity that existed and it appears to exist. People will say whatever they wish about me. I cannot control what other people say. I control what's going to be my response. And this person was trying to provoke me to get angry, saying, "You're getting angry, And I said, no, I'm not getting angry. This person kept interrupting me. This person raising his voice, and I did not raise my voice once. And then I got racist, calling me Mexican. Now, I have now, first of all, I have no issue with Mexicans, but people should be able to distinguish Latinos from the Caribbean with Latinos in Central and South America. But obviously, this person was not in the mood for that. So I decided to take the course of action. I tried to explain myself, and then after that, I just withdrew. So I'm going to go where I am welcome. And only those platforms where I'm welcome. And when it comes to new content, I'm going to exercise caution. And then we'll just be a time and see. And then the final claim was I'm trying to use another person's platform to try to take advantage to create channels. So I asked the content creator, when was the last time I appeared on the platform? And by the host's own recognition, it's been a long time. So I was able to dispute false claim after false claim after false claim. It's just that this person was not trying to respect my views. This person was trying to create an argument. And I just refused to engage. So with that being said, we better go to the next topic. Now, before I continue, let me just state that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to hit that link and opine regarding the topic in hand, then may do so. Let me make this perfectly clear. If I've never seen you before, if I've never heard from you before, I will insist that you come on the backstage to make sure no one tries to flash any adult content, which will cause the people at YouTube to take down the stream. Once I determine that you are going to abide by my rules and guidelines, then I'll let you on the panel. Now, first of all, let me just discuss what are haters. These are individuals that have either issue with me or they have issue with my content, basically. And we're not talking about people who go to give constructive criticism. They'll say, I seen your content and I think you'll be better if you do it this way, or perhaps you should do a little bit more research. I never shied away from constructive criticism. I welcome it. Unfortunately, one of the things that each content creator has to deal with is that they're gonna have haters. And then basically it's gonna be because either they have issues with you, either they have issues with your content, or they have issues with the people that you wish to associate with. Okay. Now, let me make this, I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying. It sounds old, it sounds lame, but it is true. If you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. And it's that simple. If you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. And the same notion, if you're not cool with me, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. I don't have to consume your content. I don't have to interact with you. Just like no one has to interact with me. No one has to consume my content either. Now, what are some characteristics that hater would do? Okay. First of all, they will try to spread falsehoods about you. Why? I mean, there are many reasons, and sometimes the haters themselves, they don't know why they do what they do. One of the things I have noticed in my nearly 5 years as a content creator is that hurt people. You have people that are not able to engage without getting nasty, without getting emotional, without trying to create drama. And some people do it just to get clicks and views. Everyone is free to do whatever they wish with their content. I exercise the same discretion as well. I decide who gets on. I decide the rules. I decide the guidelines. And I also decide who gains access to this platform and who does not. You don't like my rules? You go somewhere else. It is that simple. And sometimes what haters would do, when they can get real nasty, is try to publish private information about you without your consent, called doxing. Why? To embarrass and to intimidate. Another thing they will do is they will take your content and use it not to share in a public way, but to try to humiliate and to try to embarrass. Okay. which is why, as a content creator, you should know whenever anyone uses your content without your permission, without your authorization, and they use it to try to twist or distort or what have you have every right in the world to report it to YouTube or whatever platform that you are in. And of course, it's their responsibility to investigate to see whether or not your accusations are valid or not. Another way that people hate, it may not have nothing to do with you per se. It may have to do with the people that you choose to associate with. Now, unfortunately, I have been the target not because I did anything regard with a certain individual. It's because of the association I have. It is because they have issues with the people that I'm cool with. And I have made the decision. I'm going to be cool with those who are cool with me. I'm going to associate with those who associate with me. At the same time, those who do not do wish to associate with me, I'm not going to try to associate with them. We're going to part company and we'll just keep it moving. I don't wish anybody any ill will, but I'm not going to expose myself to anyone's toxicity. And just as a reminder, tonight's topic is dealing with haters. Okay. I'm not going to stay here that long, maybe another 15 minutes or so. And of course, sometimes people can get vicious, and the whole lives and a great deal of content um, speaking um, falsehoods about you, trying to create a false image about you. I mean, I had one individual that referred to me to everything but a child of God. I also had another person who made claims they could have reported me to ICE because I'm supposedly undocumented because I have a Spanish last name. I mean, it is an unfortunate part of life as a content creator. Another reason why people are hating is because they're jealous of you. They're jealous of the success that you're able to achieve. They're jealous regarding the fact that you have been able to prosper as a content creator, particularly if your content continues to grow without going negative, without being wretched, um, discussing topics where people actually enjoy and consume your content. Because that certain individual have are envious of his success and will try to do whatever to try to get you, out of your element. They will try to rob you of your peace. They will try to push your buttons so people can see you react, and then they get their jollies off watching you get upset and watching you react. which is why I continue to hold the belief you cannot control what other people say. You control how you're going to respond. Another reason why people hate is they try to, they try to go through into reacting some way so they can, they can feel good. Some people, unfortunately, um, they only feel good by making people feel bad. This is something that I had to deal with in my time as a content creator. And there's some people that try to create that tension, which I refer to them as attention seeking whores. Okay, because they crave attention. Even negative attention, as long as they're getting some sort of attention, as long as they're getting some sort of response, their pathetic minds are happy. So, how do you deal with an attention seeking whore? It's simple. You don't respond. You do not respond. Now, it does take a great deal of discipline. And it also takes that you have to have thick skin. Now, one of the things that are necessary to be a content creator is to have thick skin because you're going to deal with people that are going to try to push your buttons. You're going to deal with people who are going to try to get you upset. You're going to deal with people that will try to get you to respond in a way, particularly respond in a way that's contrary to your character. This is something that I have learned as well as a content creator. The best way to deal with these people is to ignore them. Ignore them, and if they do use your content without your permission, report it to for copyright infringement. Because there are rules, there are guidelines which prohibit you using another person's content without their authorization. Now, generally, um, I don't share a lot of people's content unless I know them very well and I have their permission to do so. I, I share the content of various content creators, which I am in very good terms with. They come over here and support my platform, and I go over there and I support their platforms. They air my content, and they share my content, and I share theirs. It's mutual, okay? And also, it is a sense of support. It's not easy to create content on a regular basis, particularly if you classify as a small content creator, or some people like to refer to it as a struggle channel. Okay. I don't look at myself as a struggle channel. I look at myself as one of hundreds of thousands of content creators here on YouTube, uh, trying to create content which hopefully my audience will enjoy and will encourage others to watch my content. Now I'm going to talk to you about how to deal with the haters. Because knowledge is power. In fact, in Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 talks about, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So how do you deal with the haters? First of all, make sure that you have thick skin and that you can tolerate. I'm not saying tolerate, but deal with them without losing your temper, without responding in kind. And this is and for some people it is a challenge because people don't like to be harassed. People don't like to be yelled at. People don't like to be relied upon. But there is a reason why they do it. They try to get you out of your element. They try to get you to respond in a certain way. So the first thing you need to do is to remain calm, maintain your composure, no matter what. And of course, you do have the right to invite anyone to your platform. You also have the right to remove people from your platform. Okay. And I had to learn that more or less the hard way. Another way to deal with the haters, and this is particularly if they decide to use your content without your permission and they try to create deception about you, lies about you, harass you, report them. Yep, report them to the platform. And not just once. If you have to do it multiple times, do so. The next thing is not to do anything to do with these individuals. Because their purpose is to try to get you to respond in a certain way, to act in a certain way. The best way to deal with it is not to give them what they want. Okay. Again, I cannot control what other people say or do. I can control what is going to be my response. That is the reality. Okay. And when you are able to maintain your calm, your peace, it bothers the heck out of them because they have, they get disgusted because they don't have been able to get you out of your element. And unless it's absolutely positively necessary, there's certain things that do not require a response. And if you do give a response, don't direct it towards just don't direct it towards them. Make it general. A perfect example of that is that on my last live on my main channel, when I discuss certain allegations, false allegations that were made towards me. I didn't direct it towards a particular person. I just simply dealt with each false allegation, spoke my truth, spoke and presented the facts. Those who will accept it will, those that won't. It is that simple. So just bear in mind, everyone will have to deal with haters from time to time, and not everyone has the inner peace that can deal with haters without getting emotional, without responding in kind. I have seen content creators going back and forth with their haters. And unfortunately, it never worked out well. All it does, it just enables them to continue. Okay? Because that's what they want. They want you to respond in a certain way because what that does, it enables them and it encourages them to continue. And then it encourages other people to do the same. So in summary, dealing with the hater is simply knowing who you are. Don't let anyone take you out of your element. If you do have to respond, don't direct it towards anyone in particular and just simply state your facts. Those that will accept it or those that don't, there's nothing you can do. And no talking is going to change anything because unfortunately, they're not trying to create solutions. They're not trying to create a reasonable dialogue. They're just trying to rob your peace. If you remember these things, you'll be able to deal with your haters and let God deal with them. Because the Bible says, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. God will deal with each person in his good time. Because everyone is going to have to give an accounting for every word that they said, every thought, and every action. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to be live at 11 o'clock, which is kind of very late. Actually, because the reason why, because I'm going out tomorrow night, and to be perfectly honest, I was planning to do my live on open discussion on my main channel instead of tomorrow night, maybe Saturday. And I think, you know what? I'll just keep it on. I'll just go on later. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with open discussion, what I do is I share my views regarding several topics. Of course, the audience will have an opportunity to opine. The audience will also have an opportunity to request that I talk some topics, of which I will do my best to comply. If it's something that I am not all that familiar with, I will be transparent to do so. And of course, there's certain topics I will not discuss because they're too controversial. So with that being said, I'm going to start to wrap this up. And of course, all those who watch in the playback, you're more than welcome to enter whatever comments that you wish. Just try to keep it respectable. And next week, I don't know when I'm going to go live on this channel. It will be announced prior. But in any case, I'm going to close the same way that I always close. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we'll be infected by the stupidity and mess and insanity. And of course, whatever we say or do, we should do it for the glory of God. With that being said, I thank you very much for your time and your and for your view. So just going to say this has been another episode of Latino Diaspora. Wishing all of you a very pleasant good night. Take care. Stay blessed. And peace.
Be strong.